continue it. But when I reached out to the Department of Education, they were a little confused by, and maybe I got the story wrong, but I don't know who the right person would be. Maybe it's you, Sika, maybe it's Dina, I don't know. But talking to someone in the commissioner's office about the 21st century funding, did they see something that we missed? So yeah, so I just want to make sure that we're not funding something that there's funding available. For both, I know it's really the school district asking for the money, but we can't fund them. So it's Boys and Girls Club, as well as the United Way. I just, what's the board meeting?
So our board meeting is on next Thursday.
Right, so we have 8 days.
May I offer just some additional information
Yeah.
that we will provide to the board? In addition to the proposals that we requested from both the entities when they contacted us about the gap funding, we asked that they submit their revised budgets showing the 30% cut that they were required to make from DOE. So we have that information for both. I did not include it in the United Way's proposal. You'll see theirs is very long and it's all included in there. In the school boards, we got that this morning and we just didn't include it in this packet.
Okay.
So what we can do, so first of all, yes, I absolutely can reach out and figure out whom I need to speak. And then secondly, we can send out to the council those budget revisions that they were required to make and that was submitted to DOE for their request.
That would be great.
Sure.
The and I didn't see, I mean, I was like, okay, I saw this, but I know how that rolls. The second, I think it was it in yesterday or today? I saw that Second Harvest got a $16 million grant, whatever. And I'm like, so again, I love the program. I certainly don't want children and families going hungry, but a gap funding emergency request of $25,000 when you just got 16 million, it may make perfectly good sense, but I have no information to go on.
So what I'll tell you is that the CEO of Second Harvest reached out to our chair and our chair connected her with us. I think Holly and I were in the car together and she explained through all of the money they were getting. That 16 million is earmarked specifically for a purpose and does not cover the gap funding that they are requesting for the program that benefits families at Leon County schools.
Okay.
So this funding that they're requesting just helps them finish out the rest of the year, and then their new money where they're going back into that programming will come, I think it's either January or February.
I got it. Okay.
And so it's just that one time, but the funding that they were awarded cannot be used for this purpose.
So that, see how much good information comes by asking questions. Again, now the 25,000. So Chair Jones, when you talked with Monique, again, I love the organization, I contribute personally. She's usually very good with a budget. And so did we have an increase in needs? Is that what the 25,000 can?
No, so at one point they had stopped doing the program and they were using a different program to fill that need.
Can you tell me what the program is?
The Department of Health after school
Feeding
program.
Thank you.
That's what it was. And so they had done it in the past. They had a deluge of funding and was able to use another pot of funding to do that. So they did not apply for that funding for this year. Well, with the deluge of funding, it's going to come up short. But they did decide to go back and apply for that grant, for that after school funding grant. And they have been assured that they will get it. but they need the
I-
funding to close the gap.
You've
Before
answered
they
every
get-
question I had.
Okay.
Again, I was like, this just seems really weird. An organization like Second Harvest asking for $25,000. It makes perfectly good sense. Is there backup on that?
Their
A request?
request is in
In
here.
the
Oh, it-
October 9th packet.
yeah, so if you look at the packet
It's
for
the,
October
it's the tab, so everybody should have a
Yes,
post-it note
the green
tab.
tab, there it
Was
is.
this in what you said?
No, sir.
Oh, no, we just got, yeah.
I'm like, because we've been through trying to answer all my questions.
Oh, because it's part of we did include second
Oh,
harvest.
no, I did.
Second
Yes,
harvest
it was in your
included.
executive packet. It was pages 5 and 6 of your executive.
Yeah, I was
packet.
like, that's what it was.
Okay,
Yours is yellow.
when did you get that?
So we put the packet together to
Thursday.
present to you guys
Yeah.
today.
No, but the second harvest report was in the executive packet that they were emailed back.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Thursday at 5:05 p.m.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because I was looking, I would have asked these questions. Thank you.
It was earlier, but it was earlier.
No, it was, I think it was ready before that, but the
You
email
gave-
went out at 5:05.
You gave me all of the information I need. Send me just these pages.
Yes.
Thank you. As an email.
This week?
I don't want to take it out of my folder.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I appreciate the ability to ask the questions. And
That's-
Sika,
that's-
thank you so much.
We won't have to go address that at number 7, so we captured in our agenda review, those questions have been satisfied. Any other observations, Mr. Watts?
No other observations. I was curious, when we do the emergency funding, the staff then meets with them to get their proposal.
So usually it's a request that comes to a council member, and then the council member will have that organization's.
Do you want to put any ramifications, like to apply to like,
It's not really an application, it's more of a request. So an organization might reach out to a council member, wondering if they have an emergency need. The council member can decide whether they want to connect them with us.
you don't
They
want
connect us with
that?
them.
I mean, once we.
Right.
Oh, no, they're subject to all of
My
the
name's on that.
reporting
Okay.
that our awarded programs are subjected to complete.
Mhm.
So we don't just give out the money.
Okay.
So I'll use Making Miracles as a perfect example. So
Okay.
Making Miracles was awarded funding.
Mhm.
They now are subjected to the SAMUS reporting, the financial reporting, our fiscal guidelines, everything that our other awarded programs are subject to completing.
I see. And last question on that. And so when we fund them, does that open the door for you all to propose different things that would line up with?
We don't propose emergency fund.
No, not propose emergency funding, but propose what services it will be on.
Yes,
Mm.
so we do look at the request to see if it aligns with our theory of change, to see if it aligns with our strategic framework.
Mhm.
And for the record, we've got, I personally, not personally, in my capacity in this job, I've gotten some requests that I've immediately gone back and said, this doesn't align with what we do.
Okay,
So it has to align with what we do, with the goals that we've set, with our needs assessment, with our theory of change,
And but availability of funds.
and the availability of funds.
So
Correct.
you do all of that to vet it before you then bring it to the executive. We kind of, well, not by policy, but by consensus, said that we would provide whether it would be forwarded for full consideration by the council.
okay.
Now, one of the things we may want to also think about, say, for example, a council member has something and it doesn't pass us, then I think it's only fair that a council member would then be permitted at the full board meeting
Yeah.
to then bring it up if they wanted to. It just would have our endorsement, and then they could then call for a motion for it to be referred to you for further analysis or consideration, but then it would then be done by the consensus of, and then they would operate as a committee of the whole. It wouldn't be an award made because we have to go back and make sure that we can identify funding and stuff. But the process would then refer it back to staff and then come back with a recommendation. So those are all options whereby, our serving on this board and our connections to the community provides us with opportunity to identify programs and activities that we hope will be able to move the needle, as it were, for our kids. So I think that makes it a whole lot more democratic.
It definitely does. I mean, I don't think that we should be sort of the end all be all. We are just in our roles as chair, vice chair, and treasurer. We're just the executive committee. We, with everything else, we make a recommendation to the whole. And again, if one of the other 7 board members feels so strongly about it, and certainly bring it up. Hey, what was the conversation? Additionally, if it was another board member, I would hope that they would come to the executive committee and hear this, if it's that important to them.
Right.
Final thing I'll say about now what will be all 3 of the proposals that we consider, 2 of which we approved. First, well, 21st Century kind of is in 2 buckets. We approved and then didn't need it, now we need it again. But these are all organizations that we are currently working with. And in the case of Making Miracles Haven, it was one who had already been vetted, got money and refunded it. I'm just sharing it with the 2 of you. That always makes me feel more comfortable. Doesn't mean I wouldn't consider something that isn't currently being funded or isn't an organization we're working with. But when I look at Second Harvest, when I look at Making Miracles Haven, who had been vetted before, certainly the 2 organizations involved in 21st Century School, I'm comfortable with their financial status and their ability to manage our dollars. I compare that to the $15,000 that Mr. Van Williams and got from us and $12,500 he got from the city, totaling $27,500 that he has stolen, in my opinion, from taxpayers. When I compare people like that, I'm like, oh God, I'd like that $27,500 back so we can give it to Monique and Second Harvest. Anyhow, those are just my feelings on this topic.
Thank you.
Hey, I just want to make sure every meeting, by the way, he returned a reporter's phone call, but won't return ours.
I didn't know that. Right. And I
just need to say it publicly.
And I called and I said, well, how? I was like, okay. We need to get a burner phone. Can I get it? I don't put that in the record. I'll put that in the public record. Next.
Do not spend local taxpayer dollars on a burner phone.
Said Chair Jones.
November 12th Governing Council workshop. Got a director.
Yes, so we'll have 2 presentations for that workshop. That will be an opportunity for Healthy Start to give you the most updated information on the COAST program, which is going swimmingly, as I would like to say. And then we were using that as an opportunity to talk about Family Resource Center expansion.
When we go, so by that time, we will come to some decision to make recommendations relative to their expansion.
I think it's more of a discussion so that we can give the most updated information for community outreach, specifically in Macon, Griffin Heights, and I always say at Lake Jackson, in that area, and really know the direction in which we want to go. I will tell you, we've had some great meetings with the leaders in Griffin Heights as we moved toward that Griffin Heights and Frenchtown area. So I think it's just a time for the council to come together and hear what that plan is going to be.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We meet regarding, it is called Family Resource Center expansion. Will there be recommendations made at that time?
We will not be making any recommendations, no.
Will capital area children, what is it, children?
Healthy Start, Children's Home Society,
Society, will they be making?
they will have the ability to make
All right,
recommendations.
I just want us to know that if we're gonna be, if this far scheduled out, which is about the equivalent of almost 45 days, right? That there will have been conversations that have occurred in the interim.
Absolutely.
Whereby when we revisit this, it will be something more than just rhetoric, but we'll talk about a plan of action moving forward. And I know
And that was,
and I
that
know
was
that,
always the
and
plan.
I know that there are persons who are negotiating
Mhm.
on this, for which we are grateful. So I just want to know that there'll be there'll be some meat on the bone.
Yes, because the plan is, the timeline has always been this workshop, and then in December, a decision is made on expansion.
Now, one more thing. I know you came to us one time about 211 of the Big Bend. When will we mention?
When you are ready for it.
Okay, so it's not because I think my concern was about a board meeting. Or do we talk about them in the context of a workshop?
So I'm
Wasn't
sorry.
wasn't it just that I think, Mr. Chair, you were worried that the meeting they were scheduled for
Mhm.
was jam-packed, and we just wanted to delay it to another meeting. I mean, I don't care if it's a workshop or another meeting.
All right,
I think the
Yeah,
thought
it's
was
your
at that
will.
time.
If you'd like us to agenda them in December, we can do that.
again, it depends on what we're looking like, but if for the November council workshop, we're just dealing with those entities for which we're providing funding, correct?
Right.
All right, all right.
And that was
I just
the
want
thought
to know
process.
where. Um. I like anecdotal references that provide context because I see us as more than just the Children's Services Council. I think we have a rightful place to be a convener of important conversations, a purveyor of important information. But I just want to know in the context by which that occurred and which meetings or which paradigms, whether it's workshops, whether it's in service, whether it's retreats, meetings, where do different types of information that come to inform our work and to inform our public, where does that happen best? Like, for example, with us at the school district, we have an agenda review and workshop before every school board meeting, which provides us with opportunity to workshop stuff that doesn't rise to the occasion to be on our board meeting agenda, but it still provides exposure, casts a light on things. So I guess I'd like for us, perhaps y'all can come back with a recommendation based upon how we meet. We meet as workshops, we meet as retreats, and we meet as board meetings, right? And what we would describe would be the content for any one of those meetings so that when we get requests from outside agencies whose information may very well be valuable to us, where does it fall?
Okay, so yes, we will do that. We have instituted and used workshops as in the past, and we were doing that again with this, so that the council can talk amongst themselves about a decision that needs to be made at a future time. And we normally try to do that workshop immediately in the month, immediately preceding the meeting where a decision will be made. So to your point, yes, we will do that.
So I got you.
Mhm.
So just.
We will define.
We'll define how we manage it, what is the content for any one of our meetings, and so that way we'll know. And then maybe even in the context of our meeting, it may be a particular place on an agenda, but then how frequently does that occur? Maybe in our meeting, we might have a quarterly, maybe every quarter there might be some time afforded to, but I look forward to y'all to look at the fullness of all of our activity to decide how we populate our agendas, both workshops, agendas, full board meetings, and annual meeting and retreats.
I would love to be able to do an agenda review prior to every meeting. It's
know,
just
We do
a
it.
little challenging
We
getting
do,
everyone.
we do the agenda review here.
Yes.
Yes, sir, you have your.
I do have my card up. One, I like the idea that it would fall logically into a nice little spot. I want to go back to the Family Resource Center issue again, and I can only talk to you all about it in a meeting. So that, one, Tiffany Martin, Children's Science Society, and Sika did a remarkable job of bringing together, disgruntled might be a little bit strong, but a group of folks who were very confused as to what a family resource center meant and what a brick and mortar place that they could go meant. That and it was such an amazing conversation. And a lot of the people I've seen at other meetings of the Children's Services Council. So these are not people that just, woke up one morning and said, I know, let's go, ask for money and have a pie in the sky dream. I am a little nervous that unless we are going to meet collectively as a board, I was absolutely happy to be there as is the guy who sat on both the evaluation team and the negotiation team for that RFP to give a little of an historical perspective. So it was good that at least one member of the council was there, but only one could be there because it wasn't a notice meeting. But I'm worried that kind of to your point, Chair Jones, that we had the meeting, and if we wait too much longer, we're gonna be at the board meeting, and we're not really going to have the meat on the bones for the full council to consider. And so, Sika, I don't know if you have any ideas of how to, and that was only one group of people, and but finding a way to bring those folks back together, a follow-up meeting, something.
So I'm a step ahead of you.
Oh, okay.
So-
Again, I can only do this,
But now you can talk with her.
I know that.
And so one of the
I'm a
things that,
step ahead.
well, I think, Mr. Mitchell, my comments were intended to serve as
Fire under the fanny.
not fire under the fanny, but we are trusting that you and staff will continue with, because there is a process by which these are created or how they are planned, that you would provide, as you have on other projects, that you'll help us to get this across the finish line.
Okay.
And that whatever methodology and cooperation with the staff and with the stakeholders in the community, that when y'all come to us on the 12th, there'll be meat on.
I needed to hear you say that.
Yes, sir.
527.
So that's what implications and inferences are different. So I hope we, as you have stated, as she has stated, that's what our plan is moving forward. Okay. All right. And we look forward to what will be the ultimate presentation that will come then from the Children's Home Society.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. All right. We've managed Second Harvest of the Big Bend, right?
Yes.
I guess I require a motion for funding. Second Harvest to move it
To move it forward.
To move
Yeah.
it forward, yes.
Yes.
Make a motion
And
to,
I'll second it.
it's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, all those in favor of providing this emergency funding for Second Harvest of the Big Bend, signify by saying aye.
Moving it to.
Moving it to, recommending that it be moved to the
Council for
construction.
Mhm.
What Paul said.
Yes.
Then what Terrence said.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, aye. And those is, thank you. Next meeting agenda.
We don't know what it's gonna be yet. We know we will do an agenda review,
All right.
but it depends on what comes to us. So we will do the December 18th agenda review.
One thing I do want to know What about Mr. Watts's program project, strategic plan? Did we put that back on the agenda? Because we didn't really address it
No,
at the meeting because he was absent. He was
that's
traveling.
not on the agenda for this. We are in the process of organizing the meetings of the ad hoc committee. And so we will have information ready for that in January because the committee's
Gotcha,
gonna meet 3 times.
gotcha.
I do have one question.
Yes,
So at, maybe it was the July executive committee meeting, we were discussing the employee disclosure, that was brought up by Treasurer Mitchell. We're finishing up the audit, and at that time, the executive committee said that we should just work with general counsel on that and take it directly to a council meeting. And so it is an employee disclosure, basically ethics, ensuring that we have a yearly process, that we are not engaged in any conflict of interest, that we are holding up our integrity, all of the things regarding working at the council. To give the council that reassurance that when you say you don't believe anything is going on, you at least have a signed document yearly from staff that says we are adhering to the ethics of the council. We did research with other CSCs. They have just a once a year process that goes into their personnel policy. Of course, when you come on board, you sign it, and then once a year they go through the ethics training. The executive committee said for us to just bring that directly to the full council, and October is the time that we are doing that. So if it is going to be a policy, it has to be passed by resolution, and we are prepared for General Counsel Rowe to present that in October. But I just wanted to make sure that that was still the way we want it to go.
Can we do the same thing for board members?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, or
I have
person.
signed. I don't know that we do it annually though.
Well, go ahead,
No, I was gonna say, we do it with the county.
with the commission on ethics.
Commission on that.
When we file our
Right.
our
I mean, that's the
financial,
only thing that we have.
Is this a call for conflicts of interest or just for that,
we are required before we take a vote. Every vote, we are essentially saying we don't have a conflict of interest unless we file with general counsel. Maybe that,
Right.
might not be a bad idea for us,
why would we put that on the workshop?
or at least
As
that's for
an internal,
A workshop for the council members to have one to do every.
but I mean, a workshop that talks about both topics, employees and board.
I'm.
Cause I'm a little, I mean, I've been here a while, but I'm unclear about how we manage the conflicts of interest as well. And if we're gonna do something that is to delineate it specifically for staff, then there ought to be some companion, unless there already is existing in policy, where we claim or we provide a written, cause I don't,
It is.
outside of the, okay. well,
Yeah, it is. So every year at the annual meeting, General Counsel Rowe talks about the disclosures
What is the annual meeting?
every October. We talk about public records, government sunshine, disclosures.
Okay, so it's
We
already.
got a policy for council members.
I see, all right.
So this was for employees.
I don't know if we signed anything for CSC outside of the commission on ethics that I remember. Right?
And that's all you're required to sign.
Okay.
As a public official, you do yours and what do you call it, transition, and then
I
each.
just want to pull something on staff that we do ourselves and occur ourselves. I just thought that would be
Yes.
hypocrisy.
Are you saying there's an appetite to, when he does the, what you call it,
Annual meeting.
annual meeting? Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, we do the Early Learning Coalition, I sign one every year saying,
Okay.
we do vote on things, that's the only difference between us and staff, and so by voting, you're essentially saying, I don't have a conflict of interest, or because part of the rule is that you're required to disclose it. But I would have zero problem signing a.
So to your first degree, we'll let you first degree. I'm in favor of, because taking the policy and bringing it into the full Or that was your first?
And
Question.
it was gonna happen next week during the general council
You need a
update.
motion, do you need?
No. Don't need a motion. Just wanna make sure that's still the will of the
I'm
committee.
still a little, because it was you all to work with Mr. Rowe.
Right,
That's what we felt comfortable doing, that
Right.
y'all can come up with something and just bring it back to the full.
and take it to the full council.
Yes.
That was the direction. I just wanna make sure that's still
Are
the
you,
direction.
you have some hesitation?
Mhm.
Okay,
No, we don't have any hesitation at all, but it had been set, what we decided was we would do it in congruence with the annual meeting, so we just don't have policies,
sure.
you know, popping up, and I just wanna make sure, since it was some time between.
Okay, so you're not thinking that we need to review it first to make it?
I don't think
faster?
so.
Okay,
There's
so,
nothing,
all right. I'm okay with the original.
there is
plan.
nothing that holds us to a higher standard than the council was being.
Okay with the original plan.
I'm good. I just need you to explain to me that we don't have elections at this meeting.
Not till next.
So Chair Jones, do you want the now second topic, do you want us to have a discussion or pass something back where council members have to sign?
So may I offer?
Yes,
When talking with Chair Rowe about that, he did not see a need for this council, which I think is a little different from ELC. For this council, because the 5 constitutional officers do their ethics disclosures through the Commission on Ethics, and then the other 5 governor appointees also have to fill out that. And so he felt as though he does an annual.
There is something that says, I mean, I know you guys are constitutional, but there is something on my disclosure that says something about conflicts of interest.
Okay.
Right, and the general counsel every October he reviews that disclosure process and tells you all, if you have a conflict, this is what you're supposed to
So
do.
just make sure that we cover all that in his comments.
Absolutely.
At the meeting in October. All of that stuff is made most clear. I think it's important that the public is also aware of that we are honest brokers, so all of that, that's good talk. All right? Is there anything else? All hearts are satisfied? Ladies, we're good? We are adjourned.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to this finance committee,